Hello, welcome to the Lalantia show. I am so excited that you're here today, and I hope that you stick around for this full message because I know it's going to be amazing. Today, I am channeling a galactic guide named Kumara, and she has a lot to say, and there's some interesting things that are coming forward. So, yeah, I hope you'll stick around. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lalantia. I'm a psychic realm channeler and energy healer, and I specialize in working with the magical realms. I work with dragons, unicorns, mermaids, fairies, all of the different magical beings. I also work with galactic beings. I work with angels once in a while. Sometimes they come forward. Spirit animals, all kinds of different spirit guides, of course. All kinds of different energies, and it all comes back to connection to your true self and your own truths and your power, your authenticity, all of that. It is all about coming back to self. So they are just here to help that connection. Now, that also goes to purposes. Now, you came to Earth at this time for a reason, and you are a part of the creation of the new Earth. So I talk about everything being about coming back to you, and that comes back to being a part of the creation of the new Earth and the changes that are happening here on Earth. And we need to show up in our power and in who we really truly are so that we can do what we're here to do. So my teachings, come back to that. We have a lot of support, and these amazing beings can help us in understanding things in different ways, to have different perspectives, because I think that we all know that our human conditioning is pretty strong and we forget, excuse me, that there's so much more and we limit ourselves so much. So that today's message definitely goes along with it. So Kumara is galactic. She has a very galactic energy. However, she's a bit vague and secretive at this time. It is not meant for us to know exactly where she's from. So what I had got from her earlier when I had channeled her is that she's from a planet or galaxy far, far away. Earth does not know about it, or it has not been spoken about yet. But I feel like there's some twists in there. So I'm just going to let it be for now. And when she's ready to tell us, then she'll tell us. But right now, that is not important for us to know. I see her with wings. She does have wings. They're similar to angel wings, but she's not an angel. They are very large. She has a lot of gold around her. She reminds me a lot of a superhero. Like, seriously, I've never had a guy come forward and like, they're like a superhero, but she reminds me of a superhero. She flies. She looks very human in form. She resembles humans very much, except for obviously having wings. She is also much larger than a human. That's just kind of what I get from Exzel. Like, I can see her, but in order to tell size, you have to have them next to something that you're familiar with. But I know I can tell that she's much larger than human sized. She has gold around her wrists and her ankles. I don't know the significance of that yet. She is a new guide to me, so the more I connect with her, I'm sure the more pieces will fall into place and the more understanding I'll get. And some of these things may change a bit as she forms more before me, or she doesn't form more, but I start to understand her more and understand more of that energy around her. And so it's possible that some things that I see are my own perception of something. So so far, her messages coming forward have really been about owning your power and you being your own superhero. And that's why I want to title this video as "You Are Your Own Superhero," because so often we are relying on others. We're not owning our own power, and we're giving our power away to others. We're depending on others to figure things out for us. We're depending on others to I don't know, like, we depend on others a lot, and it's okay to ask for help. And some people, that is a big lesson for them in this life, is that they need to ask for help more. This isn't about that, but it is about owning your power and knowing that you have the ability to do far more than you can possibly conceive of and understand in this moment. So it's about allowing yourself to believe in yourself again. So I did channel, I'm downloading a video. So while I was waiting for that, I was just a channel wrote um, to strengthen that connection with her and just to be prepared for this video instead of just channeling everything live. So what she said is, it is important to see that you are your own hero. You look to others and see them as better than you. In whatever way this is, you compare. So she's talking about comparison. It is time to find your own warrior spirit, your strength, as you prepare for the new earth. It is imperative to deem yourself ready for this new chapter, for it is unfolding now. And she said that it is unfolding now. This new chapter is happening. We're not, yes, of course, there's much more to come, but we've been like waiting for so long. And if we're not waiting, things are unfolding very rapidly at this moment. We're watching the change, and she's talking about them, her and her companions from this other place. We're watching the changes on Earth. We see the great purge of the old, and we offer our assistance to hold the frequencies of the new. Whatever words you choose, New Earth, 5D, it is important to hold the frequency of what you are creating. So we are easily getting caught up in a lot of different things that are happening on Earth. Now, I am not in any way saying that that is wrong, except we want to keep that drama energy out of it. So if we want change on Earth and we want to take action in the change on Earth, then we take action in the change of Earth. We don't get wrapped up in the drama of that energy. Okay. And it's important to be tuned into oneself, but I'm not going to go into that too much at this moment. However, this requires a great honesty within yourself to release the self-doubts, the lack, the shame, to move forward in strength, determination, in your warrior spirit. And she is showing that everybody, I will say that she's speaking especially to women, because we're finding a greater balance between the masculine and the feminine. And so everybody has masculine and feminine in them, but women through history on Earth have not, for a very, very long time, been able to really be fully in their power. Women's voices have been silenced or quieted or not listened to. We weren't deemed equal for such a long time. So women especially stepping into their warrior spirit, and men, they can still be in the warrior spirit. This isn't saying not to, but to be in a more balanced state and not in a fight mode all of the time. Now, warrior doesn't mean fight. Warrior means standing in your power, standing up for what you believe in. Warrior is not being pulled down by everybody else's stuff. It's just like, I am who I am, and you believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. I'm going to stand strong and firm in what I believe. I'm not going to let everybody else's beliefs come onto me. I'm just going to stand firm in what I believe, and I don't need to convince anybody else to believe a different way. I'm just going to express myself, be my authentic self, and I'm not going to be pulled down by everything else. Warrior, yes, warriors through history did fight. And I suppose that you could say that we are fighting, but I think that it's better to not say anything about fighting, that this is just a change in energy. But when we're in our warrior spirit and our strength and our power and strong in who we are, then we don't get so influenced by others. And that's what is really important here, is that we're not just blindly following others, that we are truly deeply connecting to our true selves, that we're letting go of everything else that's going on to connect to what we know to be our truths. And our truths don't have to align with everybody else's truths. Okay, because everybody has their purposes here. Maybe your purpose is to have different truths than me because you're meant to do something different from me, so you have to believe differently. It doesn't mean that either person is wrong. It's just a part of the balance and the change that's happening on Earth. Now, we're also going through a great purge. A lot of things are coming up to be released on Earth. This is bringing up a lot of garbage, and it doesn't look pretty. So in that process, then things aren't necessarily easy. It's harder for us to stay in our power. And we also have a lot of conflicts within our own families, within our own relationships. And that is causing a lot of discord on earth. And we need to find that place back to our power, but not our power and our warrior strength in a fighting way, but in a standing strong in who we are way. Okay, does that make sense? So it doesn't mean that, for example, for my brother, which he does have different beliefs from me, but I don't want to go into that. So if me and my brother have different beliefs in something, it doesn't mean that every time I'm with him, I need to confront him about his beliefs. It doesn't mean I ever need to confront him about his beliefs. Now, if he brings up the topic, it's my opportunity to express my truths. And we can choose then whether to have a healthy conversation about it without fighting. And if we get triggered, then that is within ourselves to heal and not get angry with each other. Okay? So I use my brother as an example because he's the only other adult that I ever see that in person that has different beliefs than I do around some important things lately. Everybody else that I ever interact with is pretty much on the same page as me. So at least in person. Online, it's a whole nother story, but I don't get into things too much online. Do not doubt yourself, she said, for even in experiencing, not inexperience, but in experiencing your greatest difficulties, you survive and you learn. Your expansion is further imminent as you explore more within you and see your true magnificence. So this is about, once again, coming back to owning who you are and owning your power and standing up for yourself, but not in a confrontational way. Like, there's no need. When you are confident and true in who you are, you don't feel an urgency to explain it. You don't feel an urgency to tell everybody, oh, this is what I believe, and take it or leave it, or whatever it is. It's just about, it just is what it is. You don't need to tell anybody, you just live it. Does that make sense? You just live it. It's funny how I can see the energy so clearly. Hopefully that translates. So the last part, she says, see beyond your immediate vicinity and see a greater picture of healing and community. So what she means by this is that our world that we live in right now, we are interacting with the world. We have to go to the grocery store. We have to go to meetings or doctor's appointments or work or wherever. We're interacting with that world. So it's easy to be really wrapped up in it and to get brought down by that energy. That is our immediate vicinity. That is everything that is around us. We're taking on a lot of that energy, a lot of those belief systems, a lot of those fears. And we need to be able to see beyond that and see the good that is already happening and to focus on that good that is happening to create more of that good. Now, she talked about community, and one thing that has come up a lot for this year, even a little bit last year, but this year especially, community is a big word. We have learned through the pandemic of the importance of connections with others. Now, this has given us the opportunity to spend time connecting to ourselves. For many of us, I know some people, it was different because you work and jobs where you didn't get any time off and maybe things were busier. But for many people, it was an opportunity to connect to oneself and go deeper within one's truths. But now we are coming out into a period where, yes, we still have some, we still have restrictions on us right now. And that's okay. That's what we need in this moment. That's how it's supposed to be. I'm not going to get political about it. It is just how it's supposed to be right now. We need to have that in order to move into the next step and the next step and the next step. But in this process, we are starting to recognize that community is important to us. But what is community to you? What does a community to you look like? What is a community that really supports you and who you are? Now, is that something in your home life? Do you want to live in a community setting in the sense that multiple people living in a home or on a piece of land, or is community friends scattered over a city? Is community your immediate vicinity, your school, your stores that you shop at, your local park? Is that your community? Is that where you connect with the people the most? So what is community to you? What does that look like? And what is most important to you? What is most aligned with you? Now, we want to keep in mind what you're creating for the new earth, right? We want to create a new earth where we have more balance with the earth, where we're not harming the earth with our way of life. So we want to find ways of living that are less impactful negatively on the earth. So how does that look for you? You know, this kind of brings me to this whole thing. Okay, so I'm vegan. I've been vegan for years. I'm not a vegan that preaches veganism to everybody, to each their own. Everybody's on their own path. Everybody's meant to have their own experiences. But if you look at it, you know, I've done a lot of research back when I became vegan, or when I became vegetarian. Actually, I watched a lot of videos about how important it is to go vegan or not eat meat anyways, because the negative impact on the earth, because of the animals and how the animals, you could bring into how the animals are treated and all that as well. But let's just put it at how the animals negatively impact the earth in the mass quantities that they are in factory farming. Okay. So if everybody were to cut out meat one day a week, then they could show the stats of the positive impact that would have, and how many less, I'm just going to say cows. Let's focus on cows, because that's what factory farming is the most. I mean, I don't know if chickens, if it's called factory farming, but I would say so. I would think it would be the same. But anyways, with the cows, there's so many of them. And if everybody decided to cut out meat one day a week. Now, I don't eat meat ever, but I'm just saying for people who do eat meat, let's say you normally eat meat every day for dinner, or maybe for lunch, maybe for breakfast too. But let's say one day a week you stop eating meat. Even one meal a week is going to make a difference. But if everybody finds a little bit to cut back on, then they make a big impact, right? Now, if everybody finds that within their life, not only just with the meat, eating meat, but with in how they live their life. Maybe you find a way to drive less, or to do a car share. Maybe you trying to think of another example. Live in a house that you don't use electricity for certain periods during the day. You know, whatever you can do to cut back on things that may negatively impact the environment, right? So for you, for each person, that's going to look different. Now, I know what I want my future life to look like. I know what I am moving towards. I know that I am moving towards having a self-sustainable community, and it is a community, not a huge community, a small community, where I also want a retreat center. So self-sustainable community and retreat center. I want it to be a place of healing, where we grow our food and we have community. We have community events. We help each other out. You know, somebody needs to go to the airport and pick up a grandma. Somebody else can watch the kids. Like, everybody helps each other out, but there's a balance, and the community is there for each other through everything. So to me, that is what I want. I am manifesting this community. That to me is my new earth. I know where I want it to be. I mean, for the most part, I know a lot of what I want there. And I have been manifesting this for quite a few years, but it was in 2020 where it became clear that it needed to be a community and not just a place for me and my kids and whatever. It's meant to be a community with more people. So, and part of that is that so that we can all support each other. You know, growing a massive garden, having multiple people taking care of that, it makes it a pretty easy task. Everybody has their part. Anyways, I'm going off topic here, but that is what she's stressing, that importance of looking at what you are creating, what you want for this new earth, what you want your community to look like? What is most important to you? How do you really want to live your life? Do you want to wake up in the morning and see trees all around your house? Okay, then you'd want to live in the forest. Um, do you want to be able to grow all of your own food? Do you want to um, homeschool your kids or have a forest school to bring your kids to so they don't have to go to traditional school? Um, whatever whatever it is for you. It's just the importance of looking at that. So Kumara is really about that connection to who you are, your own superpowers, and owning your own uniqueness. So not limiting yourself, comparing yourself to others and saying, oh, well, she's much prettier, she's much smarter, she's a much better speaker, she's a better writer, whatever it may be. Stop the comparison and own your own uniqueness, your own magnificence. Now, my example for this is that I recently recorded a program, or it was a workshop. There's multiple videos. I sat down, I recorded the videos and did all of them. And I was like, man, I sure get off topic and I sure kind of ramble sometimes. And um, I wish that I could do this better and this better and this better. I wish that I could just like I was just judging myself. I wasn't doing them good enough. I was like, well, wait a minute. This is just kind of who I am. And I don't edit my stuff. I'm not going to go through here and like I have my assistant adds, the stuff, the intro and the outro, whatever. She edits that in, but we don't edit stuff out of the video. It just is what it is. So that's the same thing with my workshops or any of my programs. It just is what it is. And if I ramble and tell a story, then I ramble and tell a story. But what people have told me is that's actually one thing that they like about me. They like to hear my stories. They like it when I get off topic and share other things or, go on to other things. A lot of times those are messages or things that they needed to hear. So I have to trust that no matter what I speak on or however it comes out, that it just is what needs to be shared and not to judge myself about whether it's good enough. I just have to trust. And, I had prepared the content ahead of time. I'm not very good at following my notes. Like, I didn't want to just sit there and read my notes. I wanted to, know my notes are just to stay on topic a bit. And I mostly stayed on topic through the workshop. I didn't really ramble too much, but sometimes I did go on about some other things. But judging myself about that is for me what I need to be reminded to let that go and just trust it will be what it will be. It will be perfect for the people that are meant to be a part of it. Okay, so that's just who I am. I looked at my YouTube stats. I don't really ever do that. Actually, I hadn't looked at them until like a few months ago, and then I didn't look again until now. And my YouTube stats are going up quite a lot. And I was like, this is awesome. But then I saw, well, a lot of people don't stick around for the whole video. Like they're leaving after a few minutes. And then I was like, disappointed that people they must not like me. You go to that whole place, they don't like me, I'm not eloquent enough, um whatever it may be. I just went into that whole thing, but it only lasted a moment because then I was like, of course loads of random people are going to stumble on my videos and it's just not going to be for them. And that's fine. It doesn't actually matter because if only 3 people or even one person watches one of my videos and is impacted by it or gets a message that they needed or whatever, then it was worth it. And that's what it's all about. For me, it's not about making money on YouTube. I'm not monetized. I don't have enough subscribers. I don't have enough views. I would like to get to that point at some point, but that is not the point of it all, right? This is a place to be able to bring forward the messages that need to be shared and to speak my truth. This is where I'm meant to express my truths and to help you find your truths. And so that's what it's all about. It's not about the numbers. So that is what the reminder is for you. Don't be judging yourself because you're not what you think is as good as somebody else, because that's not a truth. It's just your perception of something. Connect to yourself, be yourself, own your power, own who you are, own your strength, just be you. And that is what is going to bring the change. Okay, so I did a pretty good job rambling in this one too. But that's okay, because I made peace with that. But thank you guys. I will leave it there. Kumara is, if you're feeling a connection with her, if you're feeling into her energy, that means that, you know, like she's available to you if you feel that call to connect with her. Yeah, you can just take a moment to open yourself up to her energy and just invite her in, you know, just by, you can say her name in your head and ask for help in connecting to your strength, your power, your warrior spirit, your authentic self. And she will come in and she will help you with that. And maybe I'll do a little meditation with her in the future. If that's something that you're interested in, please comment that below. And please do comment below because that helps as well. And if this video resonates with you, please share it out. And if you don't already subscribe, please do. Is there anything else that I wanted to say? Oh, yes, I do want to invite you to my group, Sorceress Circle on Facebook. I go live 3 times a week with my friend Natalie. We do a weekly reading, channeling different guides that are coming in for the week. We do channeling for individuals on Wednesdays, and we do conversations on Fridays, which are about different topics. I think it was last week we talked about crystals. This coming week, depending on whenever, like I don't know when this video is going to go up, but at the time of recording this, we are getting ready to do conversations with unicorn or about unicorns, not with unicorns. Although yes, with unicorns too. I'm sure they'll have some things to say. But yeah, we have conversations about spiritual topics and magical beings and galactic beings and all kinds of things like that. We also have a YouTube channel together, which is linked below, where we do pick card readings or pick a pile, whatever you want to call it. And the ones that we have started doing are channeled messages. So we do have some cards, but the cards are secondary, and we channel the different guides that are coming in around the things. We recorded one today that's about psychic abilities. And so we went in, we each channeled 2 different guides, and then we pulled cards to make a pile for people to pick from to go along with it, and that brought some validation and expanded that energy a little bit. So definitely check those things out. If you are interested, you can sign up for my newsletter. It includes 2 meditations. There's also a quiz to see which magical being could assist you most at this time, depending on the things that you are going through. So that can just give you an idea of, you know, what kind of beings might be a great place to start with who you connect with. And yeah, the meditations, there's one meditation that connects with the magical guide, and one meditation that is with the Sophia. So yeah, go take a look at those. And I will let you go. But thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.